In this video, we will perform a dynamic impact analysis using Hypermesh and Radios. This tutorial is based on my dynamic crash analysis video. If you haven't watched that, please watch it so that you understand every step in this video. We will be simulating a ballistic impact of a bullet traveling at 200 km per hour on an aluminium wall of thickness 3 mm. We will also specify material failure criteria so that we can observe the penetration of the bullet through the wall. This video is quite long and involves many steps, but have patience. I'm sure that you will love the end results. In the end, you don't get to fire a bullet every day, do you? Let's get right into it. The link for the CAD model used in this video is provided in the description. Feel free to download the CAD and use it to follow this video step by step. The first step is to separate our components and create the mesh. Let's take a look at how this is done. After importing the geometry with Radios user profile, the first step is to delete all the solids. We will extract the mid surface for the wall and rename the newly created mid surface component. Now we can delete the unwanted wall surfaces. We will use the Auto Mesh tab from 2D panel to create a two-dimensional mesh on all the surfaces. Set the element size to 2 and mesh type as mixed. With drop down on interactive, we can adjust the node density on surface edges to get a proper mesh flow. The main objective is to capture all the geometric features accurately. We will use this to mesh all the surfaces in our models separately. Now we create a new component to store rigid body elements. We will create RBE2 rigid elements using the Rigids tab in 1D panel. Set dependent node to multiple nodes and independent node to calculate node. With all 6 degrees of freedom checked, we will use the by collector selection criteria to select all the nodes in bullet component. Create the rigid element. By masking the bullet component, we can properly view the position of master node. Now we move to the most crucial part of this setup process. We will create the material and property and assign proper failure criteria for the material. We will use the Johnson failure model to specify automatic deletion of elements when they cross limiting values for stress and strain. There are multiple parameters to be specified. Explaining every parameter in detail is beyond the scope of this video. I recommend you to go through the Radios user manual to get a better understanding of every parameter. Create a new material for the wall. We will assign the material properties of aluminium. Check the box next to reference row option. Set reference row to 0. Enter proper density value in row initial. Set proper values for Young's modulus and Poisson's ratio in respective fields. We will set sigma y at 290 megapascals. Assign proper values for hardening parameter and hardening exponent. EPSP max specifies failure strain. Set failure stress sigma max to 425 megapascals. We will duplicate the wall material and change some parameters to create the bullet material. As bullet is a rigid component, remove the maximum strain and stress settings. Now create a new failure criteria for wall. Use card image as Fail Johnson. Select the wall material in the selection box. The failure parameters must be assigned proper values according to the case under consideration. By performing several iterations, I have picked the values most suitable for this analysis. Feel free to modify these values and experiment. Now create a new property for wall. Set iShell to 24 to achieve highest level of formulation for 2D shells. Enter the value of n as 5. We will use a wall thickness of 3 mm. Enter iThick and iPlas values as 1. Duplicate this property to modify it for the bullet component. Change the thickness to 1. Keep all other settings unchanged. Now we will assign the material and property to respective components. Be sure to set the card image of bullet and wall component as part. For the rigid element, check the box next to R body. Now we need to create a proper contact between the bullet and the wall. This will be followed by assigning an initial velocity to the bullet and specifying other boundary conditions. Lastly, we will create an output block to extract specific results from our model. Now we will create a type 7 contact between the wall and the bullet. Change the card image to type 7. For the slave nodes, we will select all the nodes on the wall as they will be impacted by the bullet during the simulation. In the master elements selection box, we will select all the elements in the bullet component. We can use the by collector selection criteria so that we don't miss out on any elements. Set ISTF to 4. Friction to 0.1. Set gap minimum to 0.01. To avoid penetration errors, set INACTI to 6. Lastly, enter the value for iForm as 2. We can review the created contact by right-clicking on it in the model browser. The slave nodes must be red and master elements must be blue in color. Now open the Boundary Conditions Manager from Tools menu. We will create a velocity load collector for bullet. Select type as initial velocity. Set selection box to nodes. We will apply the velocity to the master node of our rigid element. The unit for velocity is millimeter per second. We will convert 200 km per hour to appropriate value and specify negative x direction for the velocity. Now we will create a boundary condition to constrain the translation and rotation of master node along other axes. Only permitted movement is translation along x-axis. Similarly, to hold the wall in place, create a boundary condition for nodes on the edge of the wall. Select all 6 degrees of freedom. Now, with the by geometry selection criteria, select the vertical edges of the wall. Create the constraint to avoid any movement of these nodes. To extract the results for specific entities in the model, we need to create an output block. Let's create an output block for component results. In the entity selection box, select the bullet and wall component. Set number of variables to 1 and enter value as DEF, that is default output. Similarly, we will also create a new output block for contact. Select the type 7 contact. Use the same settings for this block. To properly run our simulation, we will now create control cards. The first and most important card is engine run. It specifies the time for which we want to run the simulation. Set t-stop value to 0.005 seconds. Engine T file marks the frequency by which results are calculated. We will use a value of 5 into 10 raised to minus 5. Engine anim element is used to select the result types to be calculated. Select the checkboxes next to EPSP, Energy, von Mises and Hourglass. Engine animDT specifies the rate at which animation files are written out. We will set this to 5 into 10 raised to minus 5. Lastly, setting engine monitoring to on will allow us to monitor the simulation progress in real time. Now our analysis is set up correctly and ready for run. Let's save our model in a separate folder. Be sure to use underscore in place of space to avoid any errors during the run. Save the .fem file which contains all the details related to our setup. With export options to all, run options to analysis. Enter -both -nthread space 6 in options. Replace the 6 by actual number of cores your machine has to run the simulation as quickly as possible. Click on Radios to launch the solver. As the termination was normal, our simulation was successful. Now that the run is complete, we get to the fun part. Now we can visualize the results in Hyperview and take a look at the deformation and stress patterns. Open Hyperview and select the first animation file ending with A001 from working directory. In the second selection, select the last animation file. Click on Apply. Now go to the Contours panel and click on Apply to view the displacement. We can play the animation using the playback and speed controls. Now we can clearly see the bullet penetrating through the aluminum plate. By tweaking the input parameters, we can easily modify our case to run different iterations of the same simulation. And this is how we can perform dynamic impact analysis using Hypermesh and Radios. If you like this video, please hit the red subscribe button and give a big thumbs up. Make sure to follow me on Instagram to stay updated about latest videos. Do watch my other videos to learn how to set up and run simulations using Hypermesh.